What is up, people? Welcome back to Blue Chip Prospect for another video. Today is the day where the fun starts. First scouting report of the year, and we start this one with a bang with Liam Greentree. And since we are starting this thing a little early in the season, I'm gonna start with the player for who I have the least amount of question marks. The reason for that is quite simple. I want to see how some players will adapt as the season goes on, see if they pick up the pace or adapt their style to a more pro type of game. So anyway, without further ado, let's get this started right away. So first thing first, Liam Greentree is a 6'2", almost 200 pounds left shooting winger. Sometimes he plays on the offside and sometimes he plays on the onside, or whatever we call it. He's a 17-year-old born on the 1st of January 2006, so not on the old side and not on the younger side either. When it comes to the early rankings, most people and services have him late in their first, like Button, Prallman, and Wheeler, who have him at 27th, 31st, and 34th respectively, and others like Elite Prospect, who have him at 16. In my case, I fall much closer to Elite Prospect. I think he's a first half of the first round type of talent, but considering that he's a winger and that his skating is just okay at best, I don't think he can crack the top 10, but it's definitely not impossible if he keeps the momentum going. And in terms of stats, well, he's the most productive draft eligible player in Canada. At the moment of recording this, he had 34 points in 21 games on a team that has 13 points, 6 wins, and is dead last in point percentage in the OHL with 0.271. He also had the most goal of any draft -1 last season with 25 and was second in point per game behind Seneca with 0.74. So overall, a great progression over a great draft -1 season. Something that I'll change in these videos this year is that I won't be talking about the defense part of the game for the forwards unless it's a significant part of his overall game or if it's especially poor and it needs to be noted. In Greentree's case, it's pretty hard to evaluate because the team is being killed in their own zone all the time and it becomes so chaotic sometimes that every single player are missing their assignment. Other than that, Greentree comes with many strengths and very few weaknesses. Most of his strengths are in the offensive zone with very good off-puck movement and very hard and versatile shot. He's not going to be the primary creator on his line, but he's a very capable passer with very good puck skills and handling. But his skating is a limiting factor in his game, and I think that I might be a bit generous when I'm projecting his skating as NHL average. We'll see. So might as well start with his skating so we can keep going and finish on a good note. First, I don't think it's horrible. I know that most people see his skating as way under average, but I'm a bit more optimistic about it. But at the same time, I'm often a bit more optimistic than most, so there's that. Players with under average skating will usually take more time to develop and take more time to find ways and adapt their game to a higher pace. But if they have the smarts, the sense, and the execution, they can find ways to thrive even while being relatively bad skaters. In Greentree's case, he seems to have enough explosion to create separation over small distances. It's not pretty, but I saw him plenty of time get a couple feet of space with a few stride so he can make a play or shoot the puck. Where the problem lies with him, it's mostly with speed over distances or long distances. He doesn't get much more speed after the first few strides, and he's also very inefficient. His whole body is like involved in moving and twisting in every direction when he's trying to gain speed. He also doesn't recover his stride deep enough to generate power, and his stride kind of break down over distances or by the end of the shift. In the end, many players with much worse skating were able to progress and find ways to make it work. If you think of players like Kotkaniemi or Dylan Strome or Jason Robertson, they were all bigger players with significant skill and significant skating issues to overcome. I wouldn't put Greentree in the same convo as Robertson in terms of skills and hockey sense, but other than that, he's right up there with players like KK, but with a different skill set. I really love Greentree's hockey sense. It's not the highest thing in the world, but it's very efficient. Things aren't complicated for him. He uses a lot of give and goes to move the play forward in transition. He understands his limitations, so he involves his teammates to make it work. In zone entries, he pushes the puck at the blue line into an empty spot that he knows that he can get there first with the help of a burst or his reach. He's rarely pushing it all the way in because, again, he understands his limitation. Offensively, he's really good at moving off coverage, move the puck here and there and just reposition into a pocket of space. This might be a little wild, but I like his off-puck movement almost as much as I like Yzerman's off-puck movement. Doesn't have the same shot whatsoever, but he really understands how to get into a scoring position and how to be an easy target for a pass. Like I said before, he's not going to be the main creator on his line. He's no Leo Carlson. He's more about creating time and space for himself than do it for his teammates. More of a scorer mentality than a playmaker mentality, but he does it really well. And one last thing that I really like about his IQ is that he doesn't force play. He gets the puck in a bad spot, he will either put the puck on net so teammate can garbage goal that thing or send it back to the blue line to reset the play. He's the opposite of what Trevor Connolly is. I decided to change things up a little bit this season with the goal of making things less confusing. Up to now, I used to have a category called puck skills and another one called playmaking. Since puck skills can be many things from puck handling to passing skills or the ability to corral a bad pass, shoot the puck high from in tight or from a rebound, etc., it didn't really fit the category I was describing, so I changed it to stickhandling. Same with playmaking. Since playmaking is more of a hockey sense thing, it's more how a certain player understands how to move players around or attract players on themselves to create space for others. I changed it to passing. So like this, I feel like categories are less repetitive and clearer. It's already hard to put into words what I'm seeing sometimes. I just want to make things as clear as possible. There were times last season where I was fighting with the categories. I remember making the choice to change things up for next season when I made the Leo Carson's video. The hockey sense was such an integral part of his playmaking and vice versa. I didn't know how to build the video without being repetitive, so here we go. So in Greentree's case, the stickhandling is surprisingly good for a bigger guy and a guy that can't involve his feet too much into his stickhandling. I wouldn't say he has quick hands, but he's perfectly capable to use his handling to keep the puck away from poke checks and make defenders miss. He's also not one to overhandle the puck. He does what he has to, then either pass it into a hole he created or bring it to the net. Simple, but sweet. One issue I can see with it though is that he always stops moving his feet when he's handling the puck around defenders, and that is not great for the NHL, so some work will need to be put into that, but the base is good. Greentree is a very competitive and very confident player all over the ice. I wouldn't say he's overly physical, but he's very assertive and can use his bigger frame and his reach to separate the puck from the players on the forecheck or to win battles one-on-one. Whether it's winning a battle for a puck retrieval after placing the puck behind the defense, or winning a battle on the board in the defensive zone to help his defenseman break the puck out, or even winning his battle along the board in the offensive zone to establish possession, he goes into every battle with the intention of winning. Same can be said for his forecheck. He's forechecking with intent to strip the puck away from the player. He's not just standing there moving his stick left to right. When he's on the ice, the opposing defense definitely feel the pressure. He's not playing games. He's there to win, even though they're not winning, at least most of the time. To me, he looks like the Ryan Leonard of 2024 without the skating. Highly skilled, highly competitive player who understands his role and plays a confident and assertive type of hockey. Passing has never been Greentree's bread and butter, but the more I watched this season and the more I realized it was an underrated element of his game. He made plenty of dangerous and highly skilled passes this season, and he seems to be just as proficient on the back end as he is on the forehand. He has the necessary puck skills to dish nice little saucer over sticks and between defenders' legs on the back end and the forehand without the need to handle the puck for a few seconds to prepare his pass. The puck is often in and out on his stick. Obviously, there are exceptions where he holds onto it to make plays, but most of the time, he's more of a skillful redirector. He receives the puck and redirects it to the other side of the ice with precision. His passes are almost always on tape. Like I said before, I don't think he's going to be the main creator on his line, but I can't say that I would be surprised if he did develop into a good playmaker. The foundation is definitely there. Last but not least, his actual bread and butter, his shot. His wrister is fast, his wrister is hard, and his wrister is accurate. What else do you want from a shot? I don't know. But actually, in fact, it's not perfect. He sure can score many goals with his wrister in junior, but I'm not sure it would translate to the NHL as it is right now. Even though it has the foundation of a high-end shot, he uses a bit too much ice to release it. I think as it is right now, it would be deflected more often than not. But I also think he's aware and working on it, because I have many clips of him with the puck just outside of his left toes, and he just ferociously just pushes it forward with basically the same power and accuracy, which is exactly what you want to see from him. So good job, Greentree. But Greentree is also a versatile shooter. He's not a big clapper type of guy. I don't even think he has a single goal with a one-timer this season, but he has a very good snapshot in motion. He doesn't need time, he doesn't need space, he just drops the puck a little closer to his feet and it's gone. And again, it's hard and accurate. He doesn't involve a lot of hesitation in his release to fool the goalies, and also doesn't toe drag shot too much to change the angle. He does use it sometimes, but there's very little lateral motion on it. But again, maybe he works on it and becomes a strength, just like Kobe Barlow last season. Started with an okay drag shot, ended up with a phenomenal drag shot. One thing that I'm also impressed with Greentree is how much power and how much accuracy and how much elevation he can get on rebounds. Even with the puck in his skates or anywhere around him, he can really shoot it from rebounds. And the good thing is that he's always there to bounce on those rebounds. So I don't know, it's an impressive rebound. He's an impressive rebound shooter. It's not something that I say often or something that stands out often, but for him, it does, and it adds to his versatility as a shooter. So in conclusion, I think it's pretty evident by now that I like him quite a lot. I have him in my top 16 and I expect him to rise on most people's board as the season goes on, especially if he keeps the production going and clean his skating stride a little bit. All in all, Greentree is a player that comes with a plethora of over average tools and really know how to use them together. The flaws are real and they represent a real risk in the projection, but I'd be very surprised if he didn't make it to the show. I think the versatility of his offense, his intelligence, his confidence, his compete mixed with his stickhandling and his puck skills in general will give him a floor of a middle six winger in the NHL that can play with an edge and provide offense. Alright people, that is it for today. I know I've been putting up that card at the end of every video for a few months now, indicating that a website is coming. It still is, but I definitely bit off more than I could chew. Turns out designing a website is not my thing at all, and writing English hockey article that looks and sound professional as a French spoken person is a real challenge. Especially now that I'm more busy than ever with new professional challenges, so it is coming, but much slower than I would have liked. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I had a ton of fun making a scouting report again, and as always, see you in the next one. Peace.